Scientology is unique, not only in the answers it provides to questions man has pondered since the beginning of time, but also in the way those answers can be applied. Scientology contains tools that you can use to resolve the problems of life. In this program, we'll introduce you to the tools in the Scientology Handbook, based on the works of L. Ron Hubbard. 19 different films, each one containing actual technology for life. These are basic procedures to help you improve your ability to communicate, successfully learn any subject you choose, gain control over your career, and much more. Later, we'll show you how to apply this technology in your life through our online courses. Courses take only a few hours to complete, and there is no fee or requested donation. And now, Scientology Tools for Life.
Consider this. In all of the endless hours of your schooling, you were given plenty to learn. But did anyone ever actually teach you how to study? Sure, you learned how to go to school and maybe even what questions were going to be on the test, but were you ever taught how to learn? A lack of any real method of study has, over the years, led to many students studying just so they can pass the tests, or trick methods of memorizing so they can repeat back the right answer when they're asked.
Abraham Lincoln.
And now and then, other more unconventional methods. But all of this is a substitute for actual understanding. You don't gain any real knowledge you can use. But study and learning are a vital part of everyday life, not just in terms of succeeding in your schooling, but in an ever more competitive world. Many people wish to advance their knowledge on the job. Or perhaps you've had a lifelong passion that you've always wanted to pursue. And as the years have passed, you've come to convince yourself that the subject is just too difficult. But the dream has never quite left you. And many people find themselves years after their actual schooling, needing to further their education so as to improve their situation in life. For any number of reasons, it's easy to see why it would be very useful to have an effective system of study. Scientology offers a precise study technology that enables anyone to learn and fully understand any subject. It's the first thoroughly workable approach to teaching people exactly how to learn. For example, one of the first steps of studying anything is knowing why you're studying. Instead of looking at data and thinking, is this going to be on the exam? Ask yourself this: how can I apply this material? How can I really use this? If you do that, you'll find you get much more out of what you're studying and be able to put what you're learning to actual use. Of course, you can't study a subject if you think you know all about it to begin with. Having a willingness to know includes deciding that there's something there to learn. L. Ron Hubbard discovered that there are 3 distinct barriers which can block your ability to study, and therefore to learn. Each barrier actually produces a different set of reactions in you. If you can recognize these reactions, you can use specific tools to overcome them. If you've ever found yourself feeling bored or exasperated when studying something, or ever felt squashed, dizzy, headachy, or had that dead sort of feeling when trying to understand something, these are the reactions of the first barrier to study: the absence of mass. By mass, we mean the actual objects, the physical things of life. For example, if you were studying about flying from a textbook and read all about how to operate the controls, how much would you understand if you'd never actually seen an airplane cockpit itself? Seeing or touching the thing you're studying, getting the physical reality of the ideas you're trying to learn about would help remedy this.
And one of the most important things that you want to push.
With study technology, you'll learn several useful tools developed specifically to give you the mass you need to make the thing you're studying real to you. If you've ever tried to learn something and found yourself reeling or confused, or feeling like the newest step you're asked to do is just too hard,
Come on, let's go.
this is actually because a previous step wasn't understood and you jump to the next step. This second barrier to study is called too steep a gradient. Gradient means the gradual step-by-step approach to something. With these study tools, you'll know exactly how to find which earlier step it was that you missed or never quite mastered, and how to handle it. If you tackle what you're trying to learn so that each step is easily attainable, even the most complicated things can be achieved. Now, have you ever gotten to the end of a page and realized you have no idea what you just read? Or have you ever put down a book in the middle of it, never to pick it up again? Well, believe it or not, both of those scenarios are caused by the very same thing, and it's the most important barrier of them all, the misunderstood word. A misunderstood word is a word which is not understood at all, or it's a word you think you understand, but you have wrong. Going past a misunderstood word gives you a distinctly blank feeling. And if you've ever seen someone getting groggy or falling asleep over his book, then you know they've passed a misunderstood word long before. This also explains why you can get to the bottom of a page and not know what you just read. Somewhere earlier on that page, there was a word you misunderstood. When this occurs, the section right after that word is a blank in your memory. This causes you to separate yourself from it and withdraw. Any class you've dropped or subject you've ever given up on has had its misunderstood words. With study technology, you'll learn how to find those words and clear up their meaning. And you'll not only feel brighter, you'll regain your ability and interest in the subject. As simple as these tools seem at first glance, they represent extensive research into the subject of study and the way our minds work. In truth, being a bright student doesn't depend on native talent. No matter how young or old, or how impossible the challenge may at first seem. With these tools, anyone can learn any subject they choose and use those skills to succeed.
Is there some subject you tried to learn and then gave up on? How much better could you do at work and in life by learning how to learn? The Technology of Study online course contains much more about the 3 barriers to study. You'll also learn practical exercises to help you apply these tools in your life. Start the Technology of Study online course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation for the course. Coming up, find out how you can be sure that the decisions you're making in life are the right decisions.
What is your primary goal in life? In other words, what's driving you? What's the basic motivation behind all of your actions and decisions?
The work we did on the stairway is fantastic.
Well, whatever else you may be trying to do, ultimately, you're trying to survive. Now, it's not a new thought that man is surviving.
So Alex, Sasha told me you had a math test today. How'd you do?
A+.
A+?
But in Scientology, it was discovered that man, like every other living thing, is motivated only by survival. That is the goal of life. So everything you do and every choice you make is driven by this urge you have to survive. But you're not trying to just merely survive.
Go all the way back up the loop.
You want to live long and live well.
Popcorn, a la pop.
So there are degrees of survival. Your urge to survive could be represented by an arrow that thrusts up toward the highest potential level of survival. We call this urge toward survival a dynamic. If you were to look at it through a magnifying glass, you'd see that this one thrust subdivides into 8 thrusts, 8 urges to survive. We call these the 8 dynamics. They represent all the different compartments in your life that you're surviving for. For example, the first dynamic is the urge to survive as oneself. It's the effort to survive as an individual, to be an individual, to attain the highest level of survival for the longest possible time for self. Here we have individuality expressed fully. The second dynamic is the urge to survive through a future generation. It has 2 compartments: sex and the family unit, including the rearing of children. The third dynamic is the urge to survive as part of a group.
Let us know that they're very happy.
Any group, temporary or permanent, political or social, is part of the third dynamic. And each one is a third dynamic. The fourth dynamic is the urge to survive through man as a species. Whereas one race would be considered a third dynamic, all the races of man together would be considered the fourth dynamic. The fifth dynamic is the urge to survive for any and every form of life. This would include all living things, whether animal or vegetable. The sixth dynamic is the urge to promote the survival of the physical universe. It's the drive of the individual to enhance the survival of all matter, energy, space, and time, which are the component parts of the physical universe. The seventh dynamic can be called the spiritual dynamic. This is separate from the physical universe and is the source of life itself. The eighth dynamic is the urge toward existence as infinity. This is also identified as the Supreme Being. This can be called the infinity or God dynamic. These 8 dynamics embrace all the goals of survival that you have and all the things that you survive for. And you're trying to survive one way or another on all these dynamics at once. You may be surviving well in some.
The finalized storyboard for that scene.
These are great. Check in with me at the end of the day. Go team.
But perhaps not so well in others. But if you're not surviving as well in one or more areas of your life, then you're ultimately not surviving well in general because they're all connected. Now, any problem or situation you encounter in life will affect one or more of these dynamics. Yet, as you know, not all decisions or solutions are simple. There's a natural struggle between your dynamics. For example, a job opportunity in another city that would improve your income but uproot your wife and children has implications across several of your dynamics. The better your decisions are, the better you survive. So how can you determine the right course of action to take? What constitutes a right decision? Well, in Scientology, you'll learn a method to determine precisely what the best decision or solution is for any problem or situation you encounter in life. With this tool, you'll know how to confidently make the correct decision every time.
I'll call them first thing in the morning and let them know.
Sounds good.
The more you understand these dynamics and their relationship to each other, the more you can increase your survival and participation on all of them.
Hi.
Hi.
Sorry about my dog.
For the 8 dynamics are the parts of your life.
How How well are you surviving on your dynamics? Do the online course and learn more about the dynamics of existence. There is no fee or requested donation for the course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. Next, the tools you can use to better understand any part of your life.
We all strive to understand each other.
No, it's not right.
But despite our best intentions, we encounter upsets, differing opinions, and misunderstandings.
No, look, it's no good. You just don't get it. None of you understand.
We all have to work together, live side by side, and cooperate with one another. But sometimes it seems like this is easier said than done.
I can't do this anymore. I mean, I don't know what he wants or what I'm doing wrong.
How many times do I have to tell you? You are grounded.
Dad, everybody else is...
We might have trouble getting along with a particular person in our life.
My house. I'm your father. Come back here, young lady.
Or struggle to understand a new skill or a new tool. If there was some way to increase our understanding of people and situations, that would be a very valuable thing to know. Well, in Scientology, it was discovered that all human relationships, and in fact, any activity in life, can be improved once you know what understanding really is. You see, to understand anything or anyone, 3 things must be present. They are affinity, reality, and communication. By affinity, we mean emotional response. We mean the feeling of affection for someone or something, or the lack of it. Now, reality is agreement. What we agree to be real is real. For instance, 2 people who both agree that a certain team is the best share the same reality on that subject. And by communication, we mean the interchange of ideas between 2 people.
Go ahead, Joe.
How's that built?
Beautiful, Joe. Looks perfect.
Now, affinity, reality, and communication are very much related.
Listen.
You see, if you don't have any affinity for someone, you won't find very much to agree about. And so there will be little, if any, communication. Likewise, without communication, there can be no agreed upon reality, and therefore no affinity. And have you ever tried to talk to an angry man?
5 jalapeno. I don't want jalapeno.
He certainly doesn't have much affinity,
Another jalapeno.
and he's clearly not in agreement with you.
I won't take this if it's for free, all right?
And an angry man may be shouting words, but he's definitely not in communication with you.
1 jalapeno, maybe 2 jalapeno, but not 5 jalapeno.
Affinity, reality, and communication are so interdependent, one upon the other, that you can think of them as a triangle. To have any 2 corners, you have to have the third. In Scientology, this is referred to as the ARC triangle. All 3 factors must be present in any kind of relationship for understanding to occur. Here's an example. These 2 guys share a common reality about classic cars. They both agree this is a great one.
1957 Pontiac 3-star Super Chief. Sure don't make them like this anymore. You got that right.
So, they have a high level of communication.
Great job, pal.
And they have a lot of affinity. You could say that their ARC is high, and they understand each other, at least when it comes to classic cars. The ARC triangle has many valuable applications in life. You see, it's only necessary to improve 1 corner of this triangle in order to improve the remaining 2 corners. For example, This father and daughter only have to find something they can agree about
Dad, these yours?
Yeah.
to raise their reality about each other.
These are pretty cool.
I have my moments, hey?
This in turn will improve their level of communication, and their affinity for each other will rise. On the other hand, if one point of the triangle is lowered, the other two are also lowered. For example, this guy just can't seem to get along with his mother-in-law. He doesn't like her. She can't stand him. They have low affinity. Well, how much do they agree on? Odds are, not much. Therefore, they're not that real to one another. Low reality. How willing is he to talk to her? Not a lot. Low communication. Now, if he just picks one corner of the triangle and improves that, he'll find the other two corners will also improve. Let's say he can find something they can agree upon. Reality.
Marjorie, I really like your roses. They're really pretty.
All of a sudden, even if it's not a spectacular change,
Thank you. They took a lot of hard work.
I can imagine.
I bred them myself, you know. Wow.
he'll find that she'll at least start to communicate with him, and their affinity will begin to rise.
Even the red ones and the purple ones?
By raising each point of the triangle, they'll end up having higher and higher ARC and understanding for each other. This applies to any area of life. Marriages,
That's wonderful.
work,
Now, all these together make a team, guys.
friendships, and even when learning a new skill or working with new tools. The more you communicate with something, the more real it will become to you, and the higher your affinity will be for it. In fact, communication is the most important factor of the three.
As you can see, the main thing is that the chairs are ergonomic, comfortable, mobile.
It might be said that the triangle begins with communication.
Really good ideas.
Oh, that's great.
In Scientology, you're going to learn much more about the ARC triangle and its uses.
Did you get the orchids?
Yes, I did.
Excellent.
With it, you'll have the tools to increase your understanding of everyone you know or come in contact with, as well as the world around you.
It's actually one of my favorite ones that I've made.
By using affinity, reality, and communication, a better life, built on understanding, is easily within reach.
These lines of chairs that you designed they're the best. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
There's much more to learn about affinity, reality, and communication. Discover the full technology on the Components of Understanding online course. It contains practical exercises that help you apply these tools to your life. Start the Components of Understanding or any of our online courses by going to scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. What if you could predict the way others will behave in any situation? Find out how, coming up next.
Human behavior can seem unpredictable.
What's up, loser?
Despite our best attempts, we don't always know who we can trust
Cool, get you a good summertime board. I think we got you right here.
and who we can't. We often find ourselves surprised or let down by the actions of others.
Would you like to order now, ma'am?
No, it's okay.
Okay, let me know if I can help you with something.
Okay.
Wouldn't you like to know in advance if someone is going to be an honest employee
Yo, can I get a hand real quick?
or a reliable roommate?
Hey, I thought you were gonna clean up today.
Yeah, I'm totally still planning on it, I swear.
Right.
Or a productive business partner?
Looks like you've got a deal. Excellent.
Well, in Scientology, there is a tool you can use to predict how a person will behave. It's a scale that shows the range of emotional states that everybody experiences, one following the next. These different emotional states are called tones, and at any given time, everyone is in one of these tones. For example, if you were to receive great news,
Joanna, congratulations. You've got the promotion.
you might be in the tone of enthusiasm. But if you were to receive some very bad news, like the death of a loved one,
What happened?
you would drop down to the tone level of grief.
What's wrong?
It's my grandmother.
And just as a sudden loss can cause someone to be in grief for a short while, too many losses or too much pain can cause someone to drop down to grief and stay there, perhaps for years. And she'll respond that way toward most things in life. That's because every emotional tone level has its own unique behavior pattern. For instance, a person who is angry will do certain things.
What's up, loser?
You can expect him to try to dominate people by shouting at them and being abusive.
Don't you tell me what to do! I own you! I own this!
On the other hand, you can expect someone who is fearful to behave quite differently. So there's a chronic tone level for each person, and they'll generally behave as that tone level dictates. Therefore, if you can learn to spot a person's tone level, you'll be able to predict their behavior. And that includes everything from the way they'll communicate
Get you a good summertime board?
to the things they'll do.
Hey,
Yo,
For example,
busy day, dude?
a person who is chronically bored
Nonstop.
will be neglectful
I thought you were gonna clean up today.
and insincere about the truth.
yeah, I'm totally still planning on it, I swear.
Right.
And though they are too careless to be truly trustworthy,
You know what I did do?
they still at least have fair value as a friend.
Got you some concert tickets for your date tonight.
Alright. Thank you.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
An antagonistic person will twist the truth to harm others.
You're swinging it all over the place, you're gonna hit somebody. Just put it down.
They're hostile and nagging and critical,
Not fair.
and their value as a friend is poor.
Can you do anything right?
Now, the most dangerous tone level of all is covert hostility.
Well, I signed up for some fashion design classes. Really?
Here is the person who smiles to your face and then stabs you in the back.
I love you, sweetie, and I know that you have your own personal look.
Their conversation is filled with small barbs.
Designers have to have a lot of talent, and not very many people make it.
Because they're secretly trying to upset you or even destroy you without you being aware of it.
Don't set your heart on it, okay? I don't want to see you get hurt.
At the bottom of the scale is the tone level of apathy.
I don't even know why we bothered building this thing.
Here is the person who talks hopelessly.
No one's gonna use it anyhow.
In terms of bad things for which there's no remedy.
I mean, everybody's happy just to get paid right now, right? Then what?
At this point, there is so little life left in the person that they have the barest functional control of themselves, let alone any value as a friend, or a spouse, or as an employee.
Where's Frank?
In fact, if you hired them in your business, this person would probably destroy it through neglect and carelessness. As you can see, who we associate with is crucially important. But if you can identify a person's emotional tone, you can reduce or eliminate the risks involved in all your human interactions. In Scientology, there is a chart which shows the various characteristics found in people at these levels, so you can learn how to accurately predict what a person at that level will do. It covers dozens of different areas of behavior, from a person's ability to handle responsibility, to how truthful they will be, and what method they use to handle others. You can also learn how to identify someone's chronic tone level simply by noting what they do with their eyes. Once you know how people will behave in any given circumstance,
Boss, I got it.
you'll always know who your friends are, who you should associate with, and who you can trust. With this knowledge, you can form relationships that will help secure your success and well-being in all your endeavors.
Do you know who to trust and who to avoid? Start the online Emotional Tone Scale course and learn how to predict the behavior of others using the Hubbard Chart of Human Evaluation. On this course, you'll do practical exercises so you can accurately spot any emotional tone. Do the Emotional Tone Scale course or any of our online courses by going to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. Is there someone in your life you have trouble communicating with? Stay tuned for tools you can use to communicate with ease and confidence.
Communication is life. From your personal relationships to your professional connections, your ability to communicate can spell the difference between success or failure in all aspects of living. You may have noticed that the people you know who are successful generally have a high ability to communicate. And those who aren't successful,
If you have a moment, I just wanted to talk to you about something.
don't. If you look around you, you'll also see there are a lot of people who think they're communicating who are not. Some have trouble expressing themselves.
This happens all the time. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. I can order chicken.
Others have a hard time listening.
Chicken. If I order salmon, no telling what they'll bring out. What, meatballs or something? It's just hilarious.
Oh, excuse me, this isn't what I ordered. I ordered the chicken. Would you fix it now, please? Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, do you remember?
Hey, Dad, I got you a present for your birthday.
Some people say too little.
It's you and little Bobby. Cute, right? You're welcome.
Let it go.
Others wonder why no one wants to talk to them. Some can't start a conversation.
So I drove to Long Beach today. Never mind.
And others have no idea how to end one.
How many cars are too many cars? I mean, I have to have them all. Mercedes, Bentley, there was this Ferrari. Oh my God, I mean, you could hear this thing just...
The truth is, some of the biggest problems people have in everyday living
You gave me the wrong dish for 10.
have to do with communication difficulties.
Listen when I call the order.
You told me to cook the fish fillet.
Listen when I call the order. Or read the ticket.
Perhaps this is because until now, no one has ever been able to tell anyone how to communicate.
Hey, come on, man. Because you're arguing.
You see, there's a precise formula that successful communication follows. And if you know it, you can vastly improve your ability to communicate.
Get the hell out of my kitchen. Go now.
But to begin, it would be helpful to understand what communication is. Let's take the simple example of two people talking to each other.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
The person making a statement is causing a communication. So at that moment, we say he's cause.
Now all the blue?
The person receiving the statement is the effect of the communication. So at that moment, he's effect. The space between them is distance. So we could say that a very basic formula for communication is cause,
Now all the red.
distance, effect. Bill says something across a distance to Joe, who receives it. Now, to complete the communication, they need to change roles. Joe has to answer. So Joe replies.
How's that, Bill?
Now he is cause. He says something to Bill, who is now effect. Bill receives it and nods or says something to acknowledge that he's received it.
Great.
And this completes what's called a cycle of communication. Now, there are several additional factors which must be present in this formula for actual communication to occur. They include such things as attention, intention,
Now all the rest.
and duplication. And when you study the communication formula, you'll find out exactly what these factors are. Then you'll be able to analyze any failure to communicate against these factors to isolate exactly what went wrong. With Scientology technology, you'll learn how to improve every aspect of your communication, including how to make your communication understood by others,
Would you like to try one of our famous eggplant hors d'oeuvres?
and how to truly understand what they say to you,
It's amazing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good evening.
and how to correct any communication failures you have with others.
Your photo was great, thanks.
These are vital skills for successful living. The ability to communicate with ease and certainty is essential, for communication is the solvent of any problem. And to the degree that we can communicate, we are alive.
You can probably think of situations in your life that could have been avoided if everybody involved had been better able to communicate. The online communication course contains exercises you can do to improve your ability to communicate, no matter the circumstances. To learn more about communication, go to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. Next, precise tools you can apply to help a person recover faster from illnesses and injuries.
In the business of living, people sometimes get hurt. Certainly, life is not very tolerable to someone who has been ill or injured, or to a person who has just suffered a heavy emotional shock.
What's wrong?
It's hard to stand by and watch anyone suffer or be in pain. We'd like to bring them some relief, or somehow help them speed their recovery, but we don't know how. Well, the fact is, there is something you can do to help alleviate someone's pain and discomfort. Something that complements standard medical treatments. Of course, you should always seek first aid and medical attention first whenever an injury or illness occurs.
What do we have here?
Doctors and nurses are there to deal with any emergency treatment your body requires.
But it hurts a lot.
A broken bone needs to be set.
Some x-rays done?
Wounds need to be cleaned and dressed. But while the medical profession specializes in the curing of disease and other physical conditions, it tends to overlook the relationship of the person to his body.
Let's go, man.
The fact is, after any necessary medical treatment, the individual himself has an enormous capacity to influence his body and its well-being, for the better or for the worse.
Mom, you haven't had anything to eat. Please try something.
For instance, when a person has been injured, she tends to avoid the affected part of her body with her attention and her energy. You could say that as a being, she's no longer communicating with the area that's injured or ill. Now, when her attention and energy are withdrawn from those body areas, so are her circulation and nerve flows. And this can cause a delay in the healing process. However, in Scientology, there are several simple assists that you can learn to do to help relieve suffering and assist a person to recover more rapidly from an accident, illness, or upset. Here's an example. One of the most widely used is the Touch Assist.
Now I've learned something that will help you to recover faster from your injury. You ready?
With it, you help restore a person's ability to communicate fully with an ill or injured body part.
Feel my finger?
Yes.
Thank you. Feel my finger?
It's not power from your finger which is healing her.
Feel my finger?
You're putting her back into communication with her body,
My finger?
and her communication with the ankle speeds its recovery.
What occurred?
You are actually helping the person heal themselves.
End of assist.
Thank you, that helped a lot.
Now, one of the basic reactions in life is to avoid the places where one has been hurt. This happens on a stimulus response basis that's not based on any rational thought. Therefore, following any first aid or medical attention that's needed, a contact assist should be done.
Move slowly through the accident like it happened.
To put the injured body area back in contact with the exact place it was injured.
Move slowly through the accident like it happened.
The contact assist is the most common assist for accidents and injuries and can alleviate the pain or discomfort.
It feels better.
Great.
And speed the healing process with sometimes miraculous results. You can even do a contact assist by yourself, once you've learned how to do it correctly. There's no reason a person should suffer for weeks, months, or years,
Hey, Dad.
when he or she could be assisted to recover in hours, days, or weeks.
I'm gonna help you. Come on.
A nerve assist was developed to help chiropractors straighten out the spine and joints. In our theory, it's nerves that hold the muscles tense, which then hold the spine out of place.
Okay, Dad, turn over.
A nerve assist opens the communication flows, bringing considerable relief.
Thank you.
The way assists can be applied are almost limitless.
Feel my hands. Yes, thank you.
For example, if someone has been out of communication with their body for a long time, such as after an illness or injury, the body communication process will enable them to reestablish communication with their body again.
Good.
Even an upset can be addressed with an assist.
What's going on? Who was that?
If someone's attention is stuck on a recent emotional shock or an argument, a locational assist will direct their attention away from the upset and onto things in their present environment.
Look at that tree.
Okay.
There you go.
This assist can also be used on a drunk person to help sober them up.
Good. Look at that light.
With Scientology, you'll learn how to give several of the most basic and widely used assists.
Thank you.
You'll also find out much more about your relationship to your body as well as your mind, and why you have such an enormous capacity to influence your own health and well-being.
That's great. End of assist.
The best method of relieving suffering is the assist. They always help and often have miraculous results. If you truly want to ease the suffering of your fellows, the knowledge and skill of delivering assists is very well worth having. Now, with Scientology Assists, you can and should do something to help.
Learn the exact assist procedures to help others by taking the Assists for Illnesses and Injuries online course. Start Assists for Illnesses and Injuries or any online course by going to Scientology.org/tools. There are no fees or requested donations. Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Find out what you could do to help. Next on Scientology Tools for Life.
Drug abuse is not just a problem you only find in troubled families or on street corners in urban neighborhoods.
Hey, little brother. Where you been all morning?
One way or another, this tragedy touches most of us at some point in our lives. And the problem is getting worse and more widespread every day. Drug abuse is an epidemic.
What's going on in there?
Nothing. Please.
Open this door.
Just leave me alone.
For a person who has to sit by and watch a loved one wrestle with a drug problem, the situation can appear hopeless. For the person wrestling with the drug problem himself, it can feel even worse. For while drugs may seem to offer some relief from unwanted feelings or physical pains, they actually only mask the problem. Drug abuse tears families apart, wrecks marriages, and even devastates whole communities. And the problem doesn't just end with street drugs like heroin and cocaine. Prescription drug use is at an all-time high. And the effects of medical and psychotropic drugs can be every bit as disastrous, with side effects that are worse than the original problem: depression, violence, and even suicide. Even so-called mild drugs like marijuana actually physically make the brain waste away.
Hey man, could you smoke later? I'm trying to study here and the smoke's really bothering me.
What?
Nothing, dude.
Worse still, for those lucky enough to make it out, drug problems don't stop when people stop taking drugs.
So Stacy, I think you compiled the results from that market research. Stacy? Stacy?
The accumulated effects of drug taking can leave a person both physically and mentally impaired,
I'm sorry, what was the question?
even long after they have taken them. To understand how this could be, you must realize that drugs are essentially poisons. And in addition to their immediate effects, it's been discovered that they don't entirely leave the body. Drug residues lodge in the fatty tissues, and they can remain there for years. Furthermore, those deposits can get dislodged and go back into action in the bloodstream, causing you to re-experience their effects time and time again.
Stacy? Stacy?
Even residues from medicinal drugs such as Novocaine, diet pills, and other toxic substances such as pesticides can get lodged in the tissues of the body and become reactivated years later. To make matters worse, the physical and mental reactions to drug withdrawal can be an agonizing experience. Fortunately, L. Ron Hubbard developed effective programs which address the real source of the problem.
What do you want? Can you help me?
To begin, there are very effective tools that can be used to help someone you know withdraw safely from drugs. For example, you'll learn some simple yet very therapeutic drills that will help a person direct his attention off of himself and onto the people and things in his environment. These, combined with specific nutritional supplements, will ease the symptoms and make their drug withdrawal possible with the minimum of discomfort. Once that has been achieved, Scientology organizations offer a purification program, an effective method to cleanse the body of these unwanted substances. It's a well-supervised routine of exercise, sauna, and nutrition done on a precise personal schedule. Over the course of the program, the chemical residues in the body are broken up, released from the fatty tissues, and flushed out of the body through the pores. Once your body is cleansed of these toxic substances, you can take further steps to eliminate the harmful influence those past incidents can have over you, once and for all. With these powerful solutions, you can be restored to your full and natural vitality, intelligence, and well-being.
Honored to address you now on behalf of our class.
No matter how it seems, the situation is not hopeless. Something can be done about it. Anyone can be helped to free themselves from the harmful effects of drugs. And the result is a fresh new beginning, a new chance, a new life.
On the Answers to Drugs online course, you'll find procedures you can use to help someone recover from the negative effects of drugs. Start the Answers to Drugs course or any one of our online courses by going to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. Stay tuned to discover the underlying cause of all quarrels and conflicts and what you can do about it.
When you look at the world around you, trouble and conflict seem so commonplace,
Dude, I'll give you your money back. I've always paid you back.
so inevitable,
Always late paying me.
that it's easy to assume that it's just the way life is.
No, you're crazy. Take it back. I don't want it. What the hell am I gonna do with jalapeno?
But it's not natural for friends or colleagues to quarrel or deteriorate into open hostility.
Hey, break it up. Hey, break it up. Break it up. Hey, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Break it up.
Or for a husband and wife to constantly be at each other's throats. And it's not natural for conflicts between nations to simmer and then explode into open warfare. So what's causing them? And why are these conflicts so difficult, if not impossible, to fully resolve?
That was delicious. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Hey, are you leaving?
Yeah, I got this thing.
This thing? It's 9 o'clock at night.
Okay, overreacting. Look, it's just a business thing. Relax.
Doug, are you cheating on me?
What?
Are you cheating on me?
No. You know what? You're crazy. You know that, right? You're losing your mind.
Take an example of any two people fighting. As no one else is around, the obvious thing to assume is that they caused the fight. Each blames the other.
There's something going on, so just admit it.
There is nothing going on. You've gone mental.
But the quarrel doesn't resolve.
Listen to yourself. There's nothing.
Why? Because its true cause has not been established. You see, neither of them actually caused the fight. In Scientology, it was discovered that there is a fundamental and natural law of human relations, which explains the real underlying cause of all human conflicts. The previously unknown law for a conflict to exist. That two people are fighting is easy to see. What's hard to see, and even harder to suspect, is that a third party exists who actively promoted their quarrel.
Steve, what are you doing? I'm married to your friend.
Come on, married? When does that ever stop Doug? Shouldn't stop you either.
What are you trying to say?
Oops, I've said too much.
The hidden third party is the instigator.
I don't know how you do it.
What, do what?
Trish. I mean, she's a lovely girl and all. Come on, she's a little crazy. Always has been.
Marital conflicts are common,
Are you cheating on me?
You're losing your mind. I gotta go.
but marriages can literally be saved if both parties sort out who actually caused the conflicts. It may seem incredible, but the law is always true.
Break it up. Hey, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Break it up.
While it is commonly believed to take two to make a fight, a third party must exist and must develop it for actual conflict to occur. For example, the unsuspected bystander who denies any part of it is the one that brought the conflict into existence in the first place. The person who sometimes seems to be a supporter of only one side
He's always talking about you whenever you're not around. He talks badly about you all the time.
is the actual instigator, the hidden third party.
Really?
What do you do about it, man? What you do about it, man?
For a quarrel to occur, an unknown third party must be active in producing it between two potential opponents. Now that isn't to say that there aren't bad conditions in life that can cause conflict. Of course there are. But these can usually be fixed by talking them through.
Will everyone just calm down? There isn't enough money in the company for anyone to get raises right now.
Oh, yeah. Not enough money, is that right? I don't see you taking a bus here every day.
What?
Is that a new car, Jerry? Because it's nice.
No, actually, it's my wife's car, Bill. She's taking the bus. Like I said, there's no money in the company for anyone right now.
These conditions are unacceptable.
Yeah.
We're working overtime for free. Something is wrong here.
Yeah, there is. The complaints I keep getting about all the mistakes going on down here at the warehouse. Wrong deliveries, wrong invoices.
Wrong invoices?
The only time a conflict cannot be resolved and continues is when there is a third party actively promoting the conflict. At first, both sides may think of many reasons why they're fighting.
You ordered this is what you ordered. You have to take it back. I brought you exactly what you ordered. I won't take this if it's for free, all right?
But these reasons aren't a human being. You're looking for a third party, an actual person.
Did you see his new car out in the parking lot?
No, I get here before him.
Yeah, well, the way I see it is, if he can afford a new car, then he can afford to give us all raises. Am I right?
Totally.
Damn straight. There was trouble with the invoices again. That grocer downtown, he sent everything back.
What?
How come the order was wrong again?
Oops. I guess management gets what management pays for. Am I right, gentlemen?
The third party ordinarily uses false reports to create the trouble.
Keep hearing from our customers that your invoicing's all wrong.
False reports are written or spoken statements which turn out to be groundless or deceitful.
I think it's actually the warehouse guys. I think they're screwing up these invoices on purpose. A lot of them are talking about striking. They all want raises.
Wrong invoices. You send us the paper, we send the product out.
No,
Every
there's
single
something broken here.
Find the third party and establish the proof. That will be the end of their conflict.
I've had enough. This isn't working.
But how do you uncover someone who's hidden or unknown? Unless they are detected, those hidden but very real third parties can wreak considerable havoc in your life. In studying the third-party law, you'll learn precisely how to find out who has been spreading false reports and stirring up these conflicts, and why this discovery opens the door to their resolution. The third-party law is the tool that resolves all those previously unsolvable conflicts in life. Peace and harmony between men can be more than just a dream. With these tools, it is within reach.
Learn how to apply the third-party law so you can restore peace between friends and colleagues. Take the How to Resolve Conflicts online course. It takes just a few hours to complete, and there is no fee or requested donation. Go to Scientology.org/tools. What makes people withdraw from relationships, families, groups, or even their dreams? That's next on Scientology Tools for Life.
What causes people to withdraw from life? Leave a good job we used to enjoy,
Frank, please reconsider. Please.
or give up on the passions that used to mean so much to us. And why, in these circumstances, do we feel a loss of integrity and self-respect? Well, these things don't just happen. In Scientology, it was discovered that there's an actual mechanism which causes people to withdraw from others, or their careers, their groups, and even their dreams. You see, it was discovered in Scientology that man is basically good. His basic intentions toward himself and others are good ones, and all of us are trying to survive as best we can. So whenever people get together and function as groups, they make agreements regarding proper conduct.
Give me the keys. Oh, dude, I'm cool. Nah, give me the keys.
What's right, wrong, moral, and immoral. These codes of conduct, these moral codes, are put there to guarantee the survival of the group.
Good job, man. Thank you for that.
It doesn't matter whether it's a group of two people forming a partnership,
Looks like you've got a deal.
or the group that comprises the company where you work.
Jack made the sale, and Jack deserves the commission.
Or the family you live with.
Hey, bud.
How's the game going?
You finish your homework?
No.
As small as a friendship, or as large as a nation, all groups develop their own moral code that their members agree to,
Thank you so much.
regardless if those are written down or not.
Sir, do you need help crossing the street?
These morals assist in the smooth running and harmony of the group or society.
Thank you so much.
The problems begin when a person then violates those agreements.
Great, thanks.
When someone commits a harmful act that's contrary to a moral code they've agreed to. This is what's called an overt act.
The red light keeps coming on.
An overt is either something you did that you shouldn't have done,
Oh boy, it's not looking good. I think you'll need a engine rebuild.
or something you didn't do that you should have done, according to a moral code. Whether it's intentional or unintentional. It's that thing which you have done that you wouldn't want to have happen to you. And these destructive acts don't have to be large. They can be as simple as showing up late,
You're late again.
or not doing a professional job,
Now we hurt our own teammates, Greg. Is this a soccer game or what? Go to the locker room.
damaging equipment, or hiding things from the boss. You don't have to be engaged in an outright destruction of the group to be committing harmful acts. Now, when a person commits an overt against someone, they often feel they can't tell them about it for fear of the consequences. So, they withhold it.
I hope you're being gentle with those crystal glasses. They belong to my grandmother, you know.
Absolutely, ma'am. Backing them safe and sound.
A withhold is an overt act that a person has committed that he or she isn't talking about. But by withholding the overt, something interesting occurs.
Good morning, Beverly.
Morning.
They fall out of communication with the person or things they've harmed to some degree.
Hey Mo, you want to go inside and give her the paperwork and close up the truck?
No, you gotta do it. Had enough of her today.
Now, once a person commits an overt act and then withholds it, they're driven to another mechanism, whereby they try to lessen the overt by justifying it.
Hey, Mo, it's Mrs. Smith. Did you break one of her crystal glasses?
That glass was so old, probably already cracked.
Justification is the attempt to explain why an overt isn't really an overt.
She said that thing was really valuable.
What? She's crazy. Besides, she had tons of them. They were all dusty and never been used. I mean, what is the big deal?
This is usually done by finding fault with the person or thing that was harmed.
Hi. You know, I just don't trust him. Don't you think he's up to no good? Don't you think it's strange how he's always just acting so nice?
One makes less of them to make less of the overt.
Frank, you can't leave. You're a great teacher. The kids love you.
These kids don't love me or any other teacher, Bill. We're kidding ourselves. They don't want to learn. None of them want to learn. They're impossible. I just can't do it anymore.
If you hear someone being really critical of another, you're probably looking at someone who has committed an overt on that person.
Mo, aren't you going into work today?
Some crazy old bat says I broke her grandmother's glass. And instead of backing me up, that idiot Charlie sides with her and says I gotta pay for it. I can't work with these stupid people anymore.
And eventually this, to them,
Hi, Charlie.
will justify their departure.
It's Charlie. He wants to know if you're coming in today.
Tell him I quit!
You see, man is basically good to such an extent that when he realizes he's being dangerous and harming people or things, he seeks to minimize his own power. He wants to restrain himself from hurting someone or something any further, so he leaves. That's why a person who has overts and withholds falls out of communication with people and withdraws from areas he used to be active in. This also explains why many relationships disintegrate.
Hey, we're short on the mortgage again. Have you been gambling again?
Hey, I work to provide for this family. I put a roof over our heads, food on the table, and clothes on your back, don't I? So why are you always on my back?
When a person has built up enough overts and withholds against his spouse, he'll become critical of her.
The way you're always nagging me and going on and on and on, that's why I leave. That's why I get out of the house to get the hell away from you.
And once he's made himself into a victim, he'll feel justified to leave.
Come on, you don't need to do this. We'll figure it out. I know we can figure it out.
You don't have anything to figure out anymore.
Until now, there has been no escape from this vicious mechanism. But regret about the past doesn't have to continue to pull you away from involvement in the present. Scientology contains a precise technology that enables you to rid yourself of the effects of past misdeeds, alleviating the misery caused by those transgressions. With these tools, you can help yourself and those around you feel part of a group again.
Good job.
Handling overts and withholds with Scientology restores your self-respect
I apologize.
and enables you to regain the trust and friendship of others, and to start living your life freely again. And that is the key to lasting happiness.
The Integrity and Honesty online course contains a precise technology you can use to revive your dreams. There is no fee or requested donation to enroll. Take the Integrity and Honesty online course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. Coming up, the exact steps you can take to improve any difficult situation in life.
All right, he's ready for ride to school today.
How well are you doing in life? If you look at the different areas of your life, you may notice that in some areas you're doing great, while in others, maybe not so great.
O'Reilly, do you have that report for me? Give me that by tomorrow.
Nearly everyone would like to improve some aspect of their business or personal life. But how? Well, the first step is to realize that there is an exact condition that everything and everyone is in at any given moment.
Hey, Jason, we got a hit on our hands, baby.
Things may be going well,
What's up, man? You did your thing in there, man.
or not so well.
Don't get on my back because that's absolutely ridiculous.
And these conditions in life will either improve or they'll get worse.
Hey, come on, man. Because you're arguing what's going on.
Nothing ever stays the same for long.
Get the hell out of my kitchen, go now.
It is the actions that you take next that will determine whether the situation improves or not. And these actions have to do with your own personal ethics. Ethics are the actions an individual takes on himself. It's a personal thing. When we speak of ethics, we're talking about right and wrong conduct. You see, man is basically good, and we each have our own innate sense of what is ethical and what is not. So when we do something unethical, or see that some aspect of our lives is worsening, we naturally want to take steps to correct ourselves or the situation. Applying ethics to ourselves is how we dig ourselves out. But what are the right actions to take? Well, that depends on the condition. You see, it was discovered in Scientology that there are actually 12 possible conditions that you or any aspect of your life could be in. They range from a condition of stable power, where one is functioning and producing at a very high level.
Did it for the power. Got a hit. Excellent, man. Excellent. All right, that's a wrap.
Down to a very low state of complete confusion,
Sir, is this your shirt? That's not my shirt.
in which a person is unable to produce anything at all.
Come on.
Sir, is this your shirt?
That's not my shirt either.
I'm trying to find it. I can't find
And in
it.
between are all the states you experience on the way to the condition of power. Now, it was also discovered that each one of these conditions has its own formula, a precise series of actions or steps that you can take to not only improve that condition, but to move on up to higher conditions. For example, if you've agreed to be entrusted with the company's finances and then steal from the very group who trusts you, you're in the condition of treason, which is obviously pretty low. You see, a person who accepts a post or position and then doesn't function as it will inevitably upset or destroy some portion of an organization. So an accountant who is responsible for the group's finances and then betrays those duties is in treason against that group.
Good morning, Beverly.
Morning.
The formula for treason will enable you to take your first step toward gaining that trust back. On the other hand, if you're starting a new job or launching a new business, you're in the condition of non-existence. It's called non-existence because, as far as that activity is concerned, you don't exist yet.
Hi, this is Jordan with Jewelry by Design.
Who?
Jewelry by Design. I specialize in jewelry.
I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with your company or your products.
For all intents and purposes, no one knows you. But there are precise steps to take to get yourself known
Yes?
Hi.
Hi.
and producing the things that people need and want from you.
Here's some of my earrings.
You know, we have too many earring makers already. But your necklaces are so unique.
Complete each step of the formula for non-existence in the exact sequence it's given, and you won't be in non-existence for long.
I have everything you ordered.
Perfect. Your necklaces are so popular. I'll put another order in right now.
You see, these formulas work because they're based on the natural laws of life. For example, what's your first instinct when you discover some area or activity is in trouble?
What happened? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything. I did.
You bypass the person who's normally in charge of that activity and immediately take over and personally handle the situation and any danger in it, right? Well, you just did steps 1 and 2 of the formula for the condition of danger. The problem is, if you don't apply the remaining steps of the formula, you'll find that you'll probably inherit that part of his job now. This is how an executive becomes overworked. If you complete all the steps of the formula, and make sure your assistant does the formula for danger as well, by the time you're both done, you'll have established firm policy to prevent this situation from ever happening again.
What'd you think?
These are good. Well done, Matt.
Now, how do you know for sure what condition you, your area,
Marcy,
or your company are in?
how's that new promotion doing?
The new advertising campaign for buy one, get one free is doing really well. It's getting a lot of interest.
Johnson,
Yes, sir.
do your sales figures match up to what she's saying?
Well, not really, sir. Sales aren't where they need to be at the moment, but they're gonna pick up.
Well, you can be certain with the use of statistics.
Early in the quarter.
Look,
That's
look,
new
wait,
products
people,
coming.
listen, hold it. Listen, let's take a look at the statistics to see what condition you're really in. I mean, if there's one thing I do know, stats don't lie.
You're going to learn what statistics are and how to graph them for any area of your business or life.
Look what we got here.
By simply looking at the trend that the graph is going in, you'll know exactly what condition that area is in because each condition looks different.
Well, look what we have here.
For example, this is what the condition of affluence looks like.
Chang, your boys are hitting a home run with these sugar donuts.
And this is how you know someone or something is in the condition of danger.
Johnson.
Yes, sir.
You need to apply the danger formula to that, son.
Yes, sir.
And if you have a statistic that's just slightly down or level, you'll know you'd better apply the formula for emergency, since nothing stays the same forever. It will really sink if you don't do something to turn it around.
Marcy.
The first step of the emergency formula for a business is to promote.
I want you to start running the television advertising on this fried chicken right away. You got that?
Yes, sir.
All right, gang, let's get it together.
The conditions formulas can be easily applied to improve any personal or professional situation you find yourself in.
I took some cash, and I apologize. I fully intend to do whatever's necessary to work my way up out of treason and regain your trust.
You don't have to rely on fate or luck to be successful in your endeavors. The conditions formulas are the tools that will enable you to take full control of any circumstance or condition and strengthen it for the better.
I want to thank this man right here, Johnson. He brought up his stats, and I want all of us to follow his lead. You got that? All right.
They're the secret to being happy and successful on a job or in life.
Compliments to the baker.
Used correctly,
My pleasure.
they work like magic.
Is there some area of your life that you would like to improve, but don't know how? The Ethics and Conditions online course contains the steps of each condition formula, and you'll learn all about statistics too. Start the Ethics and Conditions course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. No fee or requested donation is required. Why do some people seem to roller coaster in life? Doing well one day and badly the next. The answer? Coming up.
Why does someone who is doing well in life suddenly worsen or begin to fail? It's almost as if some people are living their life on a roller coaster.
Great interview.
Thank you.
You'll be hearing from Miss very soon.
They're up one day
Thank you very much.
and down the next. Why does life sometimes seem so stressful? And what causes us to become uncertain about our abilities or our goals?
Matt, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know.
Well, there is an explanation for this behavior, and it has nothing to do with bad luck or fate. Each of these people is experiencing suppression. In other words, someone is trying to squash them, hold them back, or make them fail. The truth is, there are certain people who are actively trying to prevent the rest of us from doing well.
So, it's time to start applying for colleges. Have you given any thought to this?
Yeah, I'd actually like to get a degree in chemical engineering. I'm interested in researching environmentally friendly biofuel technology.
So much so that if you have a purpose or a dream in life, they will squash it.
Really? Years of study. I'm looking at your grades and I see that you have some aptitude for science, but everyone knows that's a highly competitive field. Have you considered your other options? How about community college?
So how can we tell who these people are? Well, there are in fact only two types of people: the social personality and the antisocial personality. And in Scientology, it was discovered that each have very different but identifiable behavior patterns. For example, the social personality, by nature, wants to survive well and wants others to survive well too. Whereas the antisocial personality thinks all other people are his enemies, to be openly or secretly destroyed.
Hey! You dropped your wallets.
You see, they don't trust people to a point of terror. Since crime and criminal acts are committed by the antisocial personalities, it's this second type that is the root of most trouble. And unfortunately, they tend to go undetected.
Eve! I just had the best interview. I really think I'm gonna get this job. They really like me. That's my new dress.
And?
I haven't even worn it yet.
Wow.
While their actions are calculated to be destructive,
Calm down, Em.
they appear quite rational,
You always make a big deal out of nothing.
and they can be very convincing.
It's just clothes.
I'm sorry, you're right. Have a good time. It looks really pretty on you.
I know, right? Thanks.
Their basic intent is to keep others down. So they compulsively and cleverly do just that.
Did you hear? They say there's going to be layoffs, budget cuts. Any of you teachers who aren't cutting it. Has anybody seen the sugar?
Artists in particular are magnets for these people, who view their art as something to be destroyed. So as a friend, they try to do just that.
I'm awfully sorry. I didn't mean to get your hopes up. Let me be honest with you. Everybody in town thinks that you're, well, just not good.
Where dreams mysteriously shatter, look for the antisocial personality hidden in their midst.
Why the failing grade on your test? It's as if you didn't even try.
Why should I? What's the point?
Even though they make up only about 20% of the population, the havoc they can wreak can be devastating. It would save us all a lot of failure and heartbreak if we could detect who these people are. Fortunately, in Scientology, it was discovered that these people can be detected simply by examining their conduct. You see, there are actually distinct characteristics that all antisocial personalities have in common. And these same characteristics, reversed, will be found in a social personality. Compare one list against the other, and you'll know which type you're dealing with. For example, an antisocial personality has a bad sense of property and thinks that nothing is really owned.
It's just clothes.
But a social personality knows that property belongs to someone, and its theft or misuse is frowned upon. Here's another example. A social person is eager to relay good news and tends to be specific about who said what and what exactly they said.
So, great news. The Voice called you a genius. Great work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Whereas the antisocial personality does the complete opposite with communication.
No, she's not. What is this regarding?
They will not pass on good news.
A job. Yeah, I think she mentioned something about an interview. I'll let her know you called. Finally, I'm starving.
I'm sorry, it was so...
Good news is stopped.
Did I get any calls?
No.
And they speak in generalities, using expressions such as they say and everyone thinks.
Did you remember the hot sauce?
No, I forgot.
Well, everybody knows you do that.
While a social personality tends to reassure those around him.
You're one of my top students. I know you can do this.
The antisocial person deals mainly in bad news.
Did you hear? They say there's going to be layoffs.
And critical or hostile remarks.
You always make a big deal out of nothing.
Furthermore, the antisocial personality will alter communication to make it worse.
What do you think of him? He's got some growing to do, but he shows a lot of promise.
Let me be honest with you. Everybody in town thinks that you're just, well, not good.
As a result, those associated with an antisocial personality tend to be unhappy and behave in a crippled manner in life. And they get sick more often than others. On the other hand, a social personality's friends and associates tend to be well, happy, and of good morale. It's easy to see how important it is to be able to spot who these suppressive people are. Once you know who's behind your unexplained failures and misfortunes, you'll be able to change your life for the better with solutions that make those ups and downs a thing of the past.
Well done. Good job. All right.
With these tools, you can choose your friends and associates wisely and build a better life for yourself and those around you. Once relieved of the burden of suppression, anyone can lift their head, become well and happy with life again.
I'd like to introduce you all to the hottest new artist in town.
Armed with this knowledge, there's no limit to how much we can all flourish.
Learn how to use the characteristics of antisocial and social personalities to choose your friends and associates. Take the Cause of Suppression online course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. There are no fees or requested donations for the Tools for Life courses. Sometimes, the bad news that bombards us can make us feel helpless and overwhelmed. The solution? Coming up next.
It's easy to feel anxious about the state of the world. Just turn on the TV or read the paper.
The worst storm in decades.
All we see is chaos. Earthquakes, floods, wars, riots, crime. Events we can't control, that make us feel helpless. We're left feeling unsafe, even in our own homes. The world, it seems, is not only dangerous, but getting more and more so every day. But there's something important to know about all this.
Excuse me. I think you dropped this.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
The environment is actually not as dangerous as it can sometimes appear to be. The cold hard fact is that there are certain people whose purpose it is to make the environment seem as threatening and dangerous as possible.
It isn't a crime rate, it's a crime epidemic.
They make their living by creating chaos and upset.
Women and children are no longer safe to walk on the streets.
Their incomes and power rise in direct ratio to the amount of threat they can inject into the surroundings.
I am elected, I will do something about the crime.
For example, we are constantly barraged with bad news in the media.
Authorities say they are heightening global security measures at all points of entry.
They not only report the most threatening bits of news,
This is causing hours of delay at all major airports and ground transportation.
but also sensationalize it, making it worse than it is.
Thousands of people could die due to a mysterious virus currently found only in mice. The mouse flu is currently spreading faster than
You see a frightening headline.
Daddy, who's gonna die?
I don't know, sweetie.
You want to know why and who. So you tune into that news story or buy that newspaper.
This is what Senator Gravitt had to say.
I tell you, if I am elected, I will make it mandatory that everybody is vaccinated.
Unfortunately for the rest of us, these people make their living off of fear and confusion.
I'd like to make a donation to the campaign fund.
They are sellers of conflict, merchants of chaos. But it isn't just the politicians and the media that cause the problem. In Scientology, it was discovered that as many as 1 in 4 people spend their whole lives keeping those around them feeling worried and overwhelmed.
In this economy, if you plan on keeping your jobs, you better be willing to do whatever it takes. All right, that's it.
They cause others to have a distorted idea of how threatening the world is. The problem is our health and our sanity, our level of activity, and even our ambition are all affected by how dangerous we perceive the environment to be. In other words, the more overwhelming the environment seems to you, the more powerless you'll feel and the less efficient you'll be at handling life. A person in a situation which seems overwhelming will tend to do nothing about it. But in fact, when trying to handle any overwhelming situation, you can always find something about that situation that you can confront or comfortably face doing. In Scientology, you'll learn several specific things you can do to lessen the threat and increase your command over your environment. For example, if you were to simply take a walk and actually inspect the environment around you, you could perceive for yourself that it's not as dangerous as it's being made to seem. Once people are less threatened by the environment, they tend to resurge. They think they can do more about life, reach outward a little further, and can even become a calming influence upon their immediate environment. You see, a person is as successful as he is able to adjust the environment to him, not the other way around. The world of threats and danger is an imaginary one, created with lies. Behind it, there exists the real world, a calmer environment, a place in which man can live and feel better, where there are such things as good neighbors and good spouses, reliable friends, and everyday heroes. A world where people live calmer and happier lives.
There are exact tools you can use to put yourself back in control and feeling secure about the world around you. Learn those tools on the Solutions for a Dangerous Environment online course. Go to Scientology.org/tools. There are no fees or requested donations for the Tools for Life courses. Stay tuned for the answers to what causes couples to grow apart and what can be done to mend broken relationships.
When we first get married, we do so with such high hopes for the future.
Will you marry me?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, of course, yes.
We think of it as the ultimate expression of our love, believing it will be for life. So why then is it that these heartfelt dreams, full of such promise, end so often in bitterness and divorce? Those vows we made so stale and meaningless.
If you didn't want this kind of life, then you shouldn't have married a musician.
Okay, yeah, fine.
How do you start a successful marriage? Or put one back together once it starts to fall apart? A couple getting married or doing something they know very little about. Even if it's not their first time, they rarely feel like they know more about it the second time around than they did the first. So, what goes into making a successful marriage? Well, to begin with, it would be good to define what a marriage really is and start from there. No matter what the culture, religion, or arrangement the marriage is made up of, a marriage is, at its core, a postulated relationship. By postulate, we mean a decision that something is or will be a certain way.
I promise to love
and to honor you
and to honor you.
In other words, a marriage is something that the two of you created together.
So cute.
And for it to be successful, the two of you have to continue to create it.
We need him for when we have a little one.
You got it.
The problems begin when people stop postulating their marriage. In other words, they stop creating it. You see, some people think a marriage will be held together through no effort of their own.
Mona, can't you see I'm trying to watch the game?
It won't. When people stop postulating a marriage, it ceases to exist. But what causes people to grow apart or to stop being in good communication with each other?
Fine. If that's what you want.
Well, in Scientology, it was discovered that there is a basic reason behind broken relationships and failed marriages. You see, whenever people get together and form a group, they make certain agreements.
Wow, look at those watches.
Whether these agreements are spoken about or not.
Can we go in and just have a look?
But there is no point. It's really expensive.
These agreements are about what is right and wrong,
It's quite nice.
what is good or bad, how the group should or shouldn't function.
What's this, $400 on Tuesday? Things are tight, don't you understand?
Just one time.
One time? Look at this. Does that look like one time?
Oh my god.
These are the morals of the group,
It won't happen again, okay?
and as such, they assist in its smooth running and harmony. The problems begin when a person then breaks those agreements.
I'm gonna buy all this.
That's great.
Thank you. Can I try this on? Wow, it's beautiful.
I think it's stunning.
I think I'm gonna buy it.
In Scientology, this is called an overt act.
Thank you.
An overt is either something that you did that you shouldn't have done, or something you didn't do that you should have done, according to a moral code.
If you didn't want this kind of life, then you shouldn't have married a musician.
Another way of putting it is that an overt is that thing which you have done to another
Is that your wife calling?
that you wouldn't want to have done to you.
No.
You guys were great tonight. When are you playing again?
Later on this month.
Why don't you give me a call?
Now, when a person commits an overt against someone, they often feel they can't tell them about it for fear of the consequences.
Hey, babe. How was work? Good show?
Fine.
So, they withhold it. A withhold is an overt act that a person has committed that he or she isn't talking about. But by withholding the overt, you fall out of communication with the person you've harmed to some degree. It is this mechanism that causes couples to grow apart.
Hey, honey.
I'm late for rehearsal.
It's at the very root of divorce. You see, when a person has built up enough overts and withholds against his spouse, he wants to restrain himself from hurting them any further. So, he leaves. Before now, there was little a couple could do as they drifted apart, unable to repair the damage and fix their relationship. But no matter how strained, a marriage can be put back together again. Scientology contains several tools which will enable you to do precisely that. Tools that provide relief from past overts and withholds and restore the communication within your relationship. Tools to alleviate the emotional trauma caused by a fight with your spouse. There are even tools that can help you to choose the right person in the first place. Marriages can be cleaned up, and a husband and wife using good, honest communication between them can continue to create a happy, fulfilling relationship. If both people work at keeping their agreements according to their moral codes and keeping their communication free and open between them, their marriage will grow stronger and stronger. Love is real. It can last. And it is possible to transform your marriage into the dream you cherished when you first pledged to build your lives together.
So what are we having?
Take a look.
Found it?
Yeah.
You are unbelievable.
For these tools are the keys to a happy, stable marriage.
People will give you a lot of advice on how to have a happy marriage or how to try and save one that's failing. The online marriage course offers actual tools that you can apply to improve any close relationship. Go to Scientology.org/tools. No fee or donation is required. Most parents will tell you no one ever taught them how to raise a child. Next, the secret to bringing up happy, productive children.
Luca, come here, come here. Luca!
We all want our children to grow up to become happy, healthy, and successful adults. But unfortunately, kids don't come with an instruction manual.
Luca! Come on, Luca. Luca!
So most of us just stumble through,
Come here.
armed with nothing more than our good intentions and our hopes that it'll turn out okay.
Come here.
But trial and error is not the best way to raise a child.
When are you gonna start studying, girl?
I get to have a social life if I want to.
And the constant friction all too often leads to revenge or revolt. So how can we ensure that our sons and daughters will become confident, contributing members of society? How do we bring them up to be the best they can be? In other words, how do we train them without breaking them?
Don't wrinkle the suit.
Well, perhaps that's the problem. Children are not dogs. They can't be trained like dogs are trained. They aren't controllable items. Try to train, control, or own your child, and you'll lose their love forever. A child is not a special species of animal distinct from man. A child is a man or a woman who has simply not reached their full growth yet. So any law which applies to the behavior of men and women also applies to children.
There you are.
For example,
I told you to wait in the car.
how would you like to be treated in the same manner a child is typically treated? What if you were constantly contradicted and ordered about?
Mother, what do you think of this one?
They're both hideous. Give me that. Here, try this on. And please do something with your hair. You can't leave it hanging straggly like that.
And restrain from doing whatever you wanted to do.
Name?
Susan Whitney.
You're not on the list. Step to the side, please.
If you were treated with the same level of disrespect the average child receives, you'd resent it. In fact, you'd probably revolt. Well, it's no different for a child, except he's too small to strike back. So, he gets revenge instead. He'll damage his possessions on purpose, or pester you,
I'm gonna be late for the game!
accidentally spill things, and generally destroy the peace of the home. This revenge is standard child behavior, because he's fighting for his own self-determinism, his right to make his own decisions about himself. To get a better idea of this, the next time a child sits on your lap, notice how he'll sit there quite happily. Then put your arms around him as if he's being made to sit there. What will happen? Instantly, he'll squirm. He'll fight to get away, get angry, cry. Yet he was happy to sit there on his own before you started holding him. That's what happens when you interrupt someone's self-determinism. Your efforts to mold, train, or own your child react on her exactly the same way. The sweetness and love of a child is preserved only as long as she can exert her own self-determinism. A child has a right to his self-determinism, his own power of choice. For example, if you take a child and make him play a musical instrument, his ability to play that instrument will not improve. You have to consult the child's willingness. He would at least have to agree with the fact that it's a good thing to play an instrument. Find out what his own ambitions actually are. Maybe he doesn't even want to play the violin. Find something he is interested in and allow him to do that.
I got you, son.
If you don't interrupt his willingness to do it, neither will he.
Sophocles! No way! That's awesome, Mom!
Now, of course, this doesn't mean we have to let kids run wild. Children need a certain amount of control. And they look to their parents for direction. If they don't get that direction,
Finish your homework?
they'll think you don't care about them. The key to getting your child to do things without using force is communication. Again, consult their willingness.
Are you hungry? Yeah. Okay, can I borrow your helmet to make dinner now?
If you can get your child's willingness on something, they will happily do it. You see, children instinctively want to contribute to their parents because they know their parents do more to take care of them than they can do back.
Can I help you bake cookies? Yes.
Children are quite willing to work. A young child will haunt her mother trying to help out. Permit her to do so, and she'll get the idea that her presence and activity is desired.
You're really good at this.
But the child who is not encouraged or permitted to help becomes convinced that her contribution is not wanted. And later on, she'll have definite difficulties regarding work and will actually get quite apathetic about it.
Close the refrigerator door, please!
If a teen is prevented from working, they begin to feel excluded from society. Not being a part of society, they begin to rebel against it. Therefore, as soon as a child is old enough to understand, it should be explained to them how the family operates, where the food and clothes come from, and so on. And they should be encouraged to help out.
I would like a cabbage, please.
Which one do you want?
This one.
Oh, that's a nice one. Good choice. Mom will like it.
Let the child figure out for herself what her contribution can be,
Thanks, girls.
and then let her give it. A person feels able and competent only so long as she is permitted to contribute as much or more than others are contributing to her. Scientology contains a great many tools that will help any parent raise their child to become a self-determined, happy, contributing member of their family. There are even techniques you can learn to help your child recover more rapidly from their bumps and bruises, as well as from the fears and upsets that are so often a part of growing up. Raising children can be one of the most rewarding life experiences of all. With these tools, you'll know precisely how to bring them up to become productive, responsible adults, while giving them the freedom and love they need to participate successfully in the game called life.
The online children course contains much more about how to raise happy and self-confident children. The course includes practical exercises to help you apply these tools in your life. Start the online course by going to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. Coming up, the technology that can put you in control of your job and your career.
Most of us, at one time or another, feel confused or upset about work.
Watch the lights. Come on, get it together.
Perhaps the pace of our job and the problem of handling people leave us feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
Yes, I'm on the other line with him right now. Okay. John.
Or we push and drive ourselves to the point of exhaustion, when even the mere thought of continuing seems more than we can tolerate.
New figures show the unemployment rate continues to rise. The number of people...
We worry about holding on to the job we have.
Come on, we don't want to be late for our first day of school.
Or whether we can really succeed when we start a new one.
At 10:30, this place is going to be swarming with people. I mean, just packed. We have to maintain crowd control. That is paramount. We're going to have a special VIP guest coming in. We will not know the time of arrival. Keep in radio contact always. Look alive, be alert, and be nice to the press. Come outside. I'll show you the rest of the detail.
I'd like your attention. Please gather around.
Moreover, we see other people advance up the ladder for all the wrong reasons.
Jenny will be styling our next mag cover.
It's her niece.
Or watch luck triumph over hard work time and again. It's no wonder that most of us worry about our ability to build a successful career and achieve stability. But work is the major role of our existence, whether we like it or not. If we don't like it, we don't like life. So how can we re-energize ourselves and regain our enthusiasm for work, overcome our insecurities, and feel confident and certain about our future? Well, in Scientology it was discovered, in truth, all difficulties and failures stem from confusions. When you're confused about something, you're uncertain. In any aspect of our lives, it is our ability to handle confusion that determines our certainty, security, and success. So, what exactly is confusion? Well, confusion is random motion. Random means without any order or pattern to it. You see, confusions are made up of data, or factors, or parts. They have pieces. As long as all the parts or the pieces of it are in motion, you have confusion. But if you can single out just one piece of the confusion and halt that, then you'll have begun to bring order to that confusion. For example, a dispatcher with a dozen calls coming in all at once only needs to single out one call as the first call to take. That call becomes a stable datum.
Hello, thanks for calling. How may I direct your call today?
He can orient all the other calls on the switchboard to that first one, and he'll feel less confused.
Thanks for calling. How may I help you today?
It doesn't even matter which call he selected first. Once he picked one to be his stable datum, the other calls fell in line.
Hello, thanks for holding. How may I help you today?
Let's take an example of a biologist who is lost in the woods. He's confused. He's anxious. Well, a confusion is only a confusion so long as no part of it is understood. So if he simply grasps one fact about the situation,
Okay, the sun always sets in the west,
that fact becomes his stable datum.
which would make that east and that south,
And he can then see how everything else aligns to that.
which will eventually take me back.
Grasping one fact first, one stable datum, will handle his confusion and help him regain his certainty. The teacher, confronted with a number of immediate problems, only needs to pick his first target of attention to start bringing about order again.
Get up! Get up!
Now, have you ever tried to teach someone something?
Now, we have to maintain crowd control. That is paramount. We're going to have a special VIP guest coming in. We will not know the time of arrival. Keep in radio contact always. Look alive, be alert, and be nice to the press. You know what to do.
Only to discover later that the person made a mess of it. You may have just written it off to, well, he's just not that bright. But the truth of the matter is, he was just confused. He lacked a stable datum. One fact had to be brought home to him first.
This list is the most important thing. If they're not on the list, they're not getting in. I don't care what they tell you. You got it?
Got it.
You handle it?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, listen, if you're on this list, you're getting in.
One is stupid and uncertain in any confusing situation until he has fully grasped one fact or one item.
I'm sorry, Bink, I don't see you on the list.
My boyfriend is the DJ.
I'm sorry, if you're not on the list, you're not getting in. Sorry?
It's Wilkins, reporter for the Globe.
Grasping now one fact, he can now relate other things to what he has learned.
Mr. Wilkins, you're all set, sir.
Thank you.
And thus go on to master the confusion in its entirety.
Everybody has to come around this way.
Now, you may have noticed that to handle any confusing situation, you have to be willing and able to exert some control. But did you know that there are such things as good control
I am your new teacher. My name is Mr. Lane.
and bad control?
Watch the lights. Come on.
In Scientology, you'll learn what the precise difference is between the two and how you can improve your ability to control the people and things you work with.
Hey, direct your call today.
There are many other Scientology tools you can use to significantly improve your chances for success. For example, you're going to learn what specific steps you can take to overcome exhaustion and recover your energy and enthusiasm for your work. You'll also discover exactly why you get tired from handling people all day long and what you can do about it. And you'll find out how to increase your familiarity and certainty with your tools so you can be in better control of your endeavors.
Moving it a lot better now.
You can have confidence in yourself and certainty about your future.
We did it, man!
You can have security.
Good? That's good.
People, I have an announcement to make.
You can succeed.
Today, Elizabeth will be styling our mag cover.
With these tools, you can create exactly the career and the life you've always hoped for.
Learn more about confusion, control, and exhaustion. Enroll in the Tools for the Workplace online course. There is no fee or requested donation. To begin Tools for the Workplace, go to Scientology.org/tools. Next on Scientology Tools for Life, learn how you can organize any activity for success.
You gotta take a look at these.
If you've ever had to deal with a badly organized business or office, you'll know how trying and frustrating that experience can be.
We're getting to the bottom of this. Even if it takes all night.
The result of poor organization is confusion.
I thought you were going to do it. No, that's part of your own job. Why would I be
With too much work
my job?
and very little getting done.
I just want you to do your own job.
Lacking the know-how to organize properly, the person in charge often tries to do everything herself.
Honey, have you seen my key?
please?
There's someplace, sweetheart.
Mom,
yeah,
I'm gonna be late for the game. Could you pack me a snack?
Not yet, sweetheart. I'll be
Regardless of how capable she is, she ends up becoming overwhelmed, while those who could be put to work have nothing to do.
on the table, honey. They're on the table. What was the street name
Honey,
again?
I can't find
They're
them.
on the table someplace.
Honey?
Close the refrigerator door, please.
Mom, I'm gonna be late for the game.
Honey, we'll be there. I just.
And trying to get a new business started without proper organization leads to a lot of extra effort and lowers your morale. But chaos and confusion are not natural conditions of life. How can we best organize ourselves and our lives? How do we manage our time, our activities, and those around us more effectively? How can we avoid distractions and overwork and help assure our success? Well, whether you're in charge of one project or an entire company, a busy family, or simply your own career, understanding the basics of organizing is the key factor in achieving your goals. We all recognize that if things were better organized, we'd get more accomplished.
Hey, man.
I've been here for 20 minutes. What's the problem?
I'm just looking for your receipt. My employee's
Sir,
getting
this is your shirt. That is not my shirt.
This one doesn't have a tag. I can't
Come
tell.
on, it's back there. It's got to be back there.
This happens sometimes. It's going.
But most of us lack an understanding of the natural laws of organization.
Sir, is this your shirt right here?
That's not my shirt.
Looking for it. I'm looking for it. Move.
That's not my shirt either.
We're gonna find this eventually, okay?
You need some help.
You see, any activity is made up of a series of actions that take place in a certain sequence. Here's a simple example. This woman is a jewelry maker. Now, her first step in making a necklace should be to organize her beads. If she sorts her beads according to their color, she would find them much easier to work with. Once her materials are organized, she would string the beads into necklaces. But those finished necklaces aren't worth anything until they're sold, so her next step would be to package them. And finally, to take them to a local boutique and sell them to the store owner.
I have everything you ordered. Perfect. Your necklaces are so popular. Here you go.
Thank you so much.
If we were to make a simple chart of the sequence of her actions, it might look like this: sorting, stringing, packaging, then selling. And in this example, the jewelry maker is the person in charge of all of the different actions, since she's the only employee in her company. As we've seen, this woman's product is jewelry. By product, we mean something that is completed, that can be exchanged for another valuable, such as money. A product can be the thing that you're selling, or it could be a service you provide.
L200, how may I assist you?
A product can be exchanged with people outside of your organization,
There you go. Bye.
or it could be something you've completed that you put in the hands of someone within your organization.
I finished pricing out that project, so you can start ordering the materials. Great, thanks.
Every position in an organization has a product. And all of the products from all of those positions should add up to a final product that can be exchanged. Therefore, your first step in organizing anything is to determine what your final product will be. Once you know what your final product is, you simply have to work backwards, in sequence, to establish the earlier products, which all in a row add up to the final product. For example, what does it take to create this cupcake? Well, to begin, someone has to make sure the bakery has enough sugar and flour.
Flour tomorrow afternoon?
So the product of the purchaser's job is purchased and delivered ingredients.
Hey, I got 2 bags of sugar for you. And could you please sign right here?
Now, to make the cupcakes, the baker's assistant first prepares and measures the ingredients, and then mixes them together. So his product is cupcake batter, ready to be baked. The baker is then responsible for putting the cupcakes into the oven and taking them out when they're perfectly baked. The cupcakes then go to the decorator to be professionally decorated.
Mind if I try one?
Once done, it's the baker's job to make sure they meet the proper standard of quality.
What do you think?
It's good.
The final product is high-quality cupcakes that can be delivered to a place where they can be sold to happy, hungry customers. Now, knowing the exact steps and products you need to create your final product tells you how many different positions have to be filled. And as we've seen, a person can hold more than one position, as long as he or she knows what all his different positions are.
Here you go.
Thank you so much.
But how can you make sure that each and every person involved understands what their product is, let alone what their position and status is within the structure of the organization?
55 over there, man.
L. Ron Hubbard made an important breakthrough in the subject of organization. It's called the Organizing Board. It makes any activity, project, or group function more efficiently, and you're going to learn precisely how to create one step by step. The Organizing Board enables you to see how things flow through an organization. It shows what functions are done, the order they are done in, and who is responsible for getting them done. Whether you're part of a large corporation or simply an individual with a dream, you can use this knowledge to expand your business,
Your customers are gonna love it. Well, let's get them packed up and shipped out right away.
increase your productivity,
Mr. Collins. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you.
Thank you for your business, sir. Come again.
or simply organize any aspect of your life.
Dad, I fed the dog. Can we go to the soccer game now?
Honey, we're going to soccer practice.
With these tools, any activity or group can not only become more efficient, it can be made to expand and flourish.
With the Basics of Organizing course, you can learn the precise steps to create an organizing board for your activity. And there are many more practical exercises to help you get organized. Start the Basics of Organizing by going to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation for the course. Coming up, tools you can use to achieve your personal and professional goals.
We all have dreams and goals, but all too often, they don't amount to much more than that. Perhaps we work night and day to make our goals a reality,
Hi guys, how are you?
only to discover we're no closer than we were when we started. Or maybe the road to get there seems so overwhelming, we have no idea where to even begin.
Surfboard?
And so, our most treasured dreams can become abandoned as lost causes, too far out of reach to ever come true. But no one is happy without a goal. And no one can be happy without faith in his own ability to reach that goal. Well, the truth is, there is absolutely no goal, large or small, that can't be achieved. Whether it be for an individual, a group, or a business. The key to making any goal a reality is knowing precisely how to plan out what must be done to attain it. You see, there are actually a number of subjects that make up an activity. And when one or more of these subjects aren't aligned with the others, upsets occur, and projects become hindered or even fail.
Had it with you.
Each of these subjects must operate in a coordinated manner with one another to achieve success. In Scientology, there's a valuable tool called the administrative scale. It lists these subjects in order of their importance, and all of the subjects must be in agreement with each other. In other words, each subject must align with the rest. At the top of the scale in seniority is the goal. A goal is the known objective toward which all of these actions are directed. For example, a goal might be to become the most successful restaurant in the area, or to become an award-winning recording artist, or the premier surfboard manufacturer for professional surfers, and so on. All the other items on this scale must be aligned toward this goal. So you have to work this scale up and down, making sure each item is in agreement with the others. For example, in order to achieve your goal, you have to produce a product that has value. Therefore, you must name your valuable final product. For instance, a restaurant's valuable final product might be
delicious cuisine served in a lively, comfortable atmosphere.
For a musician, it might be well-executed performances that create an emotional impact. Or for a surfboard maker, high-quality surfboards that look better and outperform the competition.
This is epic.
Now, knowing your goal and your product is a great start. But what about all the subjects in between? Well, when you study this scale, you'll find out exactly what each item is and why they all have to agree with each other. For example, an ideal scene tells the group what the area ought to be like.
Now, the people that are doing it so well are those guys in the city. So if you don't mind me treating you to lunch, we're going to go there and find out just what it is that they're doing right. Okay? So let's go.
An ideal scene is what you compare your existing scene to.
Hello.
Hi.
I know exactly where I'm going to put you.
Awesome.
Welcome to yours.
It shows you what the scene is supposed to consist of.
See guys, this is what I was talking about. The presentation's amazing, delivery was incredible, everything.
It's just really open and airy.
If there is no ideal scene envisioned with which to compare the existing scene, you won't be able to recognize departures from it.
I think this gives us lots of great ideas for us. Yeah.
Now, to bring your existing scene up to an ideal one, you will need a plan. A plan is a description of the short-range broad intentions required to handle a specific area. For example, this restaurant owner's plan is to expand the business by upgrading the quality of the atmosphere, the service, and the food. Once you have a plan, you can derive the series of steps or actions necessary to accomplish it.
Will that be all?
That's awesome.
When you study the scale, you'll know exactly how to do that.
Hey, so how's the new recipe going?
It's going really, really well. I think it's really going to be amazing.
And you know how to break down each step into specific targets that will keep you moving toward your objective.
That is art.
Then you can use statistics to chart your progress.
The number of surfboards sold 20 times, and that's a result of your hard work.
The administrative scale will show you precisely what you need to do, step by step, to achieve the happiness and prosperity you desire. A person is as alive as he has hopes and dreams. Without goals, hopes, or dreams, attaining pleasure is nearly impossible.
Reopen!
In fact, happiness could be defined as the overcoming of obstacles toward a desirable goal. With the tools found in Scientology, any individual, group, or business can gain the knowledge required to overcome those obstacles and succeed in life. Your dreams can come true.
Oh my God, I did it!
In fact, with the tools of Scientology, they're well within your reach.
Make your plans a reality with the Targets and Goals online course. Learn the skills to break down any activity into targets you can accomplish. Start Targets and Goals or any of our online courses by going to Scientology.org/tools. No fee or donation is required. Coming up next, learn how to discover the real reasons behind success or failure.
In life or in business,
That's the third order this month.
things don't always go smoothly, to say the least.
I don't understand. Why are we getting so many canceled orders?
Perhaps our success falls short of our expectations.
As y'all can see, sales are up. French fries?
Or some area of our business isn't performing as well as the rest.
Except the new jumbo burger. And it's sinking like a stone.
Or a project isn't coming off as well as we hoped.
Hey, Ann, you know, it's not sounding right out here. I don't know what the problem is. I'm gonna have to come in there.
When things go wrong, we naturally want to find out why.
Look, we have a lot of guitars stacking up in the warehouse. Did he say when he's planning on reordering?
But without the know-how needed to conduct an accurate investigation,
Just suggesting that, see if that makes a difference, okay?
all we're really left with are guesses or mere explanations.
Would someone like to explain that to me?
Well, clearly somebody's just made a mistake. The Jumbo Burger marketing campaign is a huge success.
That's right. Must be a glitch in the computer program, boss. I'll get them to recount those numbers by hand and send them to you as soon as possible, sir.
You do that, I'd like to see them.
If our goals are not being achieved, or if we find ourselves in a situation that keeps getting worse,
I have your recalculated numbers.
there is a real identifiable reason for this.
They don't look any different than the last numbers.
You see, things don't just happen. They are caused. There are reasons behind every situation, reasons that people themselves can control. Here's an example. A guitar manufacturer is struggling. Business is bad, and he needs to track down the real reason. Call this the why. The right why, when found, will always open the door to handling the situation.
Does anybody have any suggestions?
Now, he may be offered all kinds of opinions and explanations as to why sales are down.
It's obvious why. It's the internet and all these computer games.
None of which would actually lead to a workable solution.
So they don't want to take the time to learn how to play guitars anymore.
This is a wrong why.
What do you suggest we do?
It doesn't open the door to improving the situation.
Turn off the internet? Besides, the competition is doing just fine.
The wrong why can cause you to correct things which are not wrong,
Tilt this over here a little bit, get the sound baffle lined up, all right?
and neglect things which are not right. Finding the right why requires skill in investigation. Investigation is the careful discovery and sorting of facts. And it involves the ability to think logically and get to the bottom of things. To get facts, you have to ask questions. Ask yourself, what don't I understand? Find something about the situation that doesn't make sense. Then, question the people in that area to get more data.
Can I have a word?
If one of their answers doesn't make sense or isn't logical,
Quite frankly, the wood just isn't as good as it used to be.
Thank you.
keep asking questions.
Hey, Matt, can I speak to you?
Oh, hey, boss. Sure.
Sooner or later, the real reason, the right why, will show up.
So now I'm having to go to a different supplier.
Uh-huh.
You have the best wood by far of anybody in the business.
But you pay late or you don't pay at all. And it's the same month after month.
Look, I would really like to keep doing.
No payment, no wood.
Hello?
In this case, an investigation revealed that the accountant had not been paying their suppliers in a timely manner.
3, 2, 1. Oh!
Lower quality materials were then ordered from somewhere else, which made for lower quality guitars.
The neck on your guitar, it's warped.
This led to a bad reputation,
Let me get you mine.
causing sales to slump and orders to be
So
canceled.
now I'm having to go to a different supplier.
I get it. Thank you.
Once the right why is found, the manufacturer will know exactly what to do to correct the situation.
I'll see you later, man. Hey.
Now, statistics can play an important role in investigations. There's always a reason behind a bad statistic.
And it's sinking like a stone.
Question those involved.
Somebody like to explain that to me?
You're looking for data that is illogical.
Well, clearly somebody's just made a mistake. The Jumbo Burger marketing campaign is a huge success.
For example, there's something illogical here, because the marketing campaign couldn't be a huge success if the product's sales are sinking. Both datums can't be true. One of the breakthroughs in Scientology has been to identify the exact points that make something illogical. They're called out points, and the better you get at spotting them, the faster you can get to the bottom of any investigation. You're going to learn how to recognize all the different types of out points, so you can quickly identify what's illogical about any situation. You're also going to find out what plus points are, and why they're equally important to the success of any endeavor.
Looks just like the pictures, too.
These are just part of an entire body of knowledge regarding the subject of investigation. For example, you'll also learn why it's important to know what your ideal scene really is, and how to know if your investigation has led you to the real why.
Our sales are the highest they've ever been.
Knowing how to investigate gives you the power to identify the real reasons behind success or failure in any aspect of life.
Looks good.
With this knowledge, any situation can be repaired, and any goal can be attainable.
Very nice.
Is there some situation in your life you can improve if you found the right why? On the Investigations course, you can learn practical exercises that help you apply these tools to your life. To start, go to Scientology.org/tools. There is no fee or requested donation. How can you get agreement from others for your plans and ideas? That's next on Scientology Tools for Life.
When we hear the phrase public relations, we might think of celebrities on red carpets, or the deceitful manipulation of public opinion.
I introduce to you the Green Factory.
So while some have corrupted the subject into a technique of lying convincingly,
If I am elected, I will make sure there is no more crime.
in truth, public relations is actually an indispensable tool for anyone who needs to gain the support of others.
I have found the perfect location for our community center.
For instance, perhaps you have an idea for a project that will improve your neighborhood,
Plenty of room for them to play and keep them off the streets.
but you aren't getting the acceptance and help you need to get it off the ground.
Good morning, sir. I'm trying to raise some money for a community center in the neighborhood. I was wondering if you would like to help us with this.
No thanks.
Or you might have a worthwhile purpose, but can't seem to get others to participate.
Go ahead. Walk right by the trash. Pretend it's not even there.
Or maybe you or your business has become the victim of gossip and vicious rumors,
I heard their pizza is really bad.
Oh, wow.
and you have no idea how to defend yourself. All of these situations can be handled with good public relations. In Scientology, the entire subject has been refined and is now a valuable tool for anyone with a worthy purpose. For example, the definition of public relations, or PR for short, is now properly defined as good works well publicized. You see, no matter how worthwhile your purpose or activity is, you're not likely to accomplish it by yourself. You'll need the cooperation of others.
Hey! Don't put that styrofoam cup on the beach, okay?
But unless your endeavors are made known, and done so in a way that gains the public's agreement,
Let's donate for some trash barrels for the beach, huh?
they're not going to support your efforts.
For the beach, come on.
Public relations will provide you the means to get your ideas accepted. Let's take the example of an architect who wants to improve his neighborhood by turning a vacant building into a community center for the local kids to play in. But in order to raise funds to make this happen, he first has to identify who his public is. Public is a PR term meaning a type of audience. For example, there's the teenage public, the doctor public, the golfer public, and so on. Different publics have different interests, so you have to communicate your ideas to each of them differently. The architect decides that local business owners and local parents are his publics for fundraising. But if he wants to present his idea to them in a way that they'll agree with, he needs to know a little bit more about them.
Good morning, sir. I was wondering if I could ask you a couple of questions.
Sure. So, He conducts a survey to discover their opinions on the subject.
And what about a large community centre would help local businesses the most?
I think
Now, you don't need a team of polling experts to conduct a survey. You can do it yourself very easily.
And what activities would you enjoy the most in a community centre?
Scientology contains an exact technology on how to conduct and tabulate a survey, and you're going to learn exactly how to do it.
Someplace where the kids can get together in a safe environment and play.
Yeah.
Their responses will tell you what your public wants or believes, and what they will agree with. Then, when you communicate to them, you can do so in a way that they'll be much more apt to respond.
And if we do this, the neighbourhood and your businesses will thrive. A safe place for your children to grow up and play, with plenty of activities to keep them occupied.
Thus, you can gain the support you need for your endeavors, and your projects can become a great success. And because PR is defined as good works, well publicized,
I announce this community centre open.
It's important to be sure to make your good works and accomplishments broadly known. This is especially true if your reputation comes under attack by gossip or lies.
I heard their pizza is really bad.
These attacks can not only make your life miserable, they threaten the success of your activities. The wrong thing to do is withdraw. Using public relations, you can take steps to disprove the rumors.
Excellent.
And make the truth known to all.
I want to thank you all for making my pizza #1.
In Scientology, you'll learn precisely how to do just that. But whether you're repairing an existing reputation or creating a new one,
Hey, donate to buy more trash barrels for the beach?
you need to know how to properly communicate to people. If you're rude or disrespectful to people,
Go ahead. Walk right by the trash.
your PR efforts will fail miserably, because people will not only reject you, they'll reject your ideas.
Let's donate for more trash barrels for the beach.
Sorry, man, I can't help you out.
Do you want the beach to be nice?
For example, an environmentalist with the purpose to keep the beaches clean
Let's donate for trash barrels for the beach. Come on.
will not gain any support by treating others with disdain.
You guys like rubbish all over the beach? Come on. Ridiculous.
This public relations technology identifies exactly what good manners are comprised of and reveals the vital role they play in any PR activity.
We just started a trash barrel fund for the beach, which is basically designed to help the preservation for the beaches and stop littering. Nice. And I'm selling these.
There's also a precise formula that a successful conversation follows, and when you know it, you'll vastly improve your ability to get your ideas across and be accepted.
Have a wonderful day.
Good luck.
In Scientology, you're going to learn a great deal about the subject of communication and how you can successfully use it to increase the public's agreement and affinity for you and your ideas. Any purpose that is truly worthwhile is worth getting done. And it's easiest to accomplish it when you have the cooperation and support of others. Public relations is the way to make that happen. It's how to make your good works well known and well accepted.
Begin learning the fundamentals of public relations or any of the 19 Scientology Tools for Life today. Each online course contains tools that you can use to resolve the problems of life. They take only a few hours to complete, and there is no fee or requested donation for the courses. Learn the Scientology Tools for Life. Go to scientology.org/tools to get started.
It's curiosity. It's like, what actually is Scientology?
People look through windows, they pop their head in. I had seen churches everywhere.
I'm like, I've seen this building before. I didn't even know what to expect.
It was totally different than what I thought it was gonna be.
It was like, what is that? Tell me more. And then I'm like, tell me more. And
It was so easy to get all the answers. You can just walk right in, and that's all it takes.
My name is Corwin. My name is Vance, and we live in Turtle Pines, Minnesota. We're gonna make brownies for Christmas!
All right!
brownies.
Yeah, it is actually.
Here's our brownies all done. And we're going to put berries on for topping.